What's good, everybody? It's Hamza from Ather Gaming, coming to you guys with a brand new video. Like I said before, the year of 2021, we are going to be going absolutely crazy. This time I'm coming with my top 5 actual meta decks of the current format. I've seen a lot of you YouTubers, aka my sons, doing this video, and I just feel like they just didn't do it right. Again, guys, let's try and hit 13 likes on this video. If you can try and get 13, that'd be super awesome. Subscribe if you have not already, because like I said before, 2020 we are going to be banging out content. Now, without further ado, guys, let's get right into this video. Alright guys, so starting off the video, it's like I always do in every single one of my top 5 meta decks. We start off with changes, we start off with don't sleep decks that can be dark horses, and then we do a countdown all the way to number 1. So again, starting off with the changes with the recent ban list, we are going to be talking about Drytron right here. This is being really glitchy for me right now. We're going to be talking about Drytron. Basically, the change to Drytron were that Union Carrier actually got banned, and I believe Ben 10 went to 1, or Ben 10 was banned as well. And basically, all that means is Drytron is not viable until you get the rank 1 card. But we saw in the LCS that people have actually been using like Drytron Vendread, where they make like the Battle Lord, and then they'll use like Evolution to bring out the Battle Lord, and then Battle Lord will banish Battle Lord. And it's kind of like a Shockmaster, like an Azathoth. Kind of prevents them from losing 2 cards like Nibiru and other hand traps. It's pretty good, but I'm just not going to put it in the meta category right now, just because once they get the rank 1, they'll be a lot more powerful in that regard. So that's the only reason why I'm actually putting it in the changes and nowhere else in that sort, because a lot of people just want to know my opinion on Drytron, and I think that, you know, just the Vendread variant can be decent, but again, I'm just not going to do anything about it until we get the rank 1. Then again, another change to the deck, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows about this, is Virtual World. And I mean, VFD got banned, so Virtual World really lost its big play. Now it can just do some sort of like either weird Gotham's hand loop, or they do like some weird like Shen, draw cards, make like, you know, Crocstar. Just not as good as before, and it is very susceptible to Nibiru. Anybody who plays Virtual World or who has tested Virtual World in this current format knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's just really underwhelming now. Maybe going on into the near future, if we get some new cards, maybe there's something with that new like XYZ where you like detach and negate something of the same type. I don't know. I just feel like it's just not meta and just not one of those decks that you should really be afraid of as of now, because there's no more of that like double VFD plus insanity follow-up in the next turn. And then the last deck we are going to be talking about is Numeron, just any sort of Numeron variant. Yes, I know they lost Zexal, so they can't really do like their turn 1 plays. They're just kind of gonna have to be like a go second what's the guy's name? Megaclops. It has to be like a Megaclops or like a go second pure limb removal OTK type of deck. It's not really that, oh, I can play Numeron or Altergeist and I can go first and I can go set trap cards and activate Numeron and make a Zexal and I'll stun my opponent from playing the game and keep up with combo decks. Now I have to go second on OTK, because there's no really go first unless you go like Megaclops Turbo Stun, and if you do that, you deserve every riches in the world. So yeah, moving on from onto our don't sleep category, we are going to be talking about the first thing, which is Dragoon variants. So a lot of people have been saying that Dragoon variants are meta, but we saw in the LCS that there are actually a lot more popular decks that can actually put up a lot more consistent boards. Dragoon variants, we're talking about like Altergeist again, Subterror, anything else that has Dragoon in it. I feel like as a supporting engine, it's just not really gonna be a meta viable thing, but it is definitely going to be you know, a deck that you can get punished on, just because with Dragoon goes to 4K and then he'll OTK you because he can pop. Very degenerate, so he's definitely going to be in the don't sleep category. Another deck we are going to be talking about is again the Buster Blader deck. And no, I'm not saying it's just because I uploaded a video. Well, I actually am, but basically Buster Blader is just a deck that you just cannot sleep on in multiple regards, and literally it's because, like I showed before, they Baguska Buster Lock you, and then they have like the Dogmatica engine as well. They can OTK, they can do a lot of things, so just don't sleep on this deck. I know that it's not really a deck that's going to be like, oh, Buster Blader 4th best deck in the meta, but just don't sleep on this deck because it can go ahead and slap you in the face if you don't know what it's doing. So make sure you guys are well equipped to deal with this deck. And then again, another deck is not just Prank Kids, but also Prank Kids Adamantipator. That's why I decided to show Roxy's in this deck, because Prank Kids can do their whole shenanigans, because again, it was untouched. They can do like their 1-card combos and their 16 1-card combos. And then again, Adamantipator can actually do a lot more with this card as well. It's just a very scary situation that this deck is in. I don't think it's going to be meta, just because people are going to be playing Dark Ruler and Forbidden Droplets. So I feel like Prank Kids, yeah, their end board's not as good, but it's still, like I said before, a deck that can go ahead and slap you on the butt and call you daddy. So that's what I'm going to be talking about there. Yeah, I don't know what I just said either. And then again, the last deck we're going to be talking about is this Leer Lusic Tri-Brigade deck. People call it like Bird Up. I don't really know why you call it Bird Up. I see a lot of YouTubers call it Bird Up, but it's just like literally loose like deck. Basically, all it does is it'll end you with like the barrier statue. It'll end you with like maybe some Morg. It'll end you with Harpy's Featherstorm if you have that. That card's like absolutely insane. That card is literally cracked. That card is like skill drain, but your opponent can't respond to it. It's like quick play trap card. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And then it can also end you with the other card, like I forgot its name, the double Dragon Lords or whatever, the one that can bounce. So I think this is another deck that it's probably the closest to meta as any of the other Don't Sleep decks that I've talked about. But again, just a deck that you just absolutely have to respect because it can slap you in the face again. Notice, well, what just happened to you there? Notice how these 4 decks that I was talking about can all slap you in the face, right? These decks are going to be the Bird Up deck, like I said before, whether it's end boards, Prank Kids or Adamantipator Prank Kids, Buster Blader, and Dragoon. Just make sure you guys understand what these decks really do because it's not going to be a fun day if you guys aren't ready for it. But now, finally, we are going to be getting to our 5th best deck of the current format, and that spot is going to be taken by none other than, none other than Invoke, Dogmatica, Shaddoll, or any of these variants in the slightest. So an Invoke variant, a Dogmatica variant, and a Shaddoll variant, it doesn't really matter. But basically, I'm going to be talking about Invoke, Dogmatica, Shaddoll because, again, before we got the Dogmatica cards, Invoke Shaddoll was a very potent and very toxic deck to deal with because it would go like Macabre, Winda, and you can't really deal with it. And then again, another variant that actually got popular was the Invoked Dogmatica variant, where they would go like Macabre plus trap cards. Again, another toxic variant. And then, like I said before, Dogmatica Shaddoll is another toxic variant. And then again, like I said before, Shaddoll is another toxic variant where you just go like trap card Shaddolls and that sort. So I feel like any of these 3 variants are going to be very, very potent. They're also very consistent, and they're a really small engine that you can splash other cards in with, and that's what makes them very powerful in that regard. That's why I decided to put them over Dragoon, because you can't really put Dragoon in this category because like Dragoon, you know what I mean, it's weird. But again, Invoke Dragoon can be a thing, Dogmatica Dragoon can be a thing. Yeah, whatever. I was gonna say Shaddoll Dragoon, but whatever. But that's it for my 5th spot. Moving on to our 4th spot, we got just Zodiac variants. It could be Zodiac trap cards, it could be Dogmatica Zodiac, it could be Eldritch Zodiac, just anything of the sort. I feel like Zodiac, again, like I said before, guys, having 1-card engines that are very splashable and then gives you this sort of like space for tech cards is really, really potent. And I do believe that the Zodiac engine is a lot better than any of these engines. That's true because Zodiac engine is way smaller. If we reference the LCS, there was that one deck that played like 1 Ram, 1 Whiptail, 1 Thoroughblade, 1 Rat, and they just called it a day from there. You don't really need to be playing like the triple Ram, the triple Thorough, the triple Whiptail. You can just get away with 1 each and then throw any other like 17 engines that you want in the deck. And again, ending with Trident Pop in a slower format is actually very powerful in that regard. So again, we are going to be talking about Trident in the number 4 category. Moving on to the number 3 category, it's going to be Golden Lord. Now again, Golden Lord variants, Eldritch, Pure Eldritch, Eldritch Zoo, any of these variants can be viable in the current format. Eldritch Dragoon again, right? Because Golden Lord, again, like I said before, it's a very slow format. These trap cards are very disruptive. Golden Lord's a very powerful card because you can just send him, deal with decks like Winda, Macabre, force a lot of negates. And a little interaction that people don't know that you guys should probably know is if I go Golden Lord, pitch from my hand to send the Macabre to graveyard, Macabre negates, Golden Lord will not be banished because Golden Lord didn't activate and resolve in the graveyard, activated in the hand. So that's something you guys need to keep in mind. Very similar to Miscellaneous Source in that regard as well. So yeah, Golden Lord is a very powerful deck. Golden Lord deck, you know, Golden Lord's a big bad wolf. You know, he can do a lot of damage to backward decks like Ultra guys like GOOOO. So that's why I decided to talk about Golden Lord in my number 3 category. Moving on to our number 2 category is going to be Dinos. I don't really want to talk about this deck. Literally just looking at this deck makes me sick. I feel like throwing up. I just want to quit Yu-Gi-Oh altogether. I don't know why this deck is still viable. I hate my little brother that it survived so much. I hate him. He's such a dum-dum. But basically, number 2 is Dinos. Now, Dinos, guys, yes, they lost 50 and they can't go first, but they can still go first. You know what I mean? They can still end with like Conductor, maybe Pankratops if they do that weird Petit Pterodon play, and with an Abyss Stoler, and you literally lose. Like, you can't do anything. It's pretty insane. Or you just pure go second, throw nuts to the wall. You play Triple Lightning Storm, like Dark Ruler, Gamma, Ash. You just say, okay, it doesn't matter. Because there's this meme going around, I don't know if it's a meme or not, but people are like, oh, the Dino player didn't open any go second cards. Every single Dino card is a go second card. Like, I don't understand what that means. This deck is made to break boards, and that's why I feel like a lot of decks in the current metagame, even though they can set up these pretty cute boards, Dinos will absolutely just eat you. That's why it's called Soul Eating over Ather. He eats your soul and he makes you want to quit Yu-Gi-Oh! That's the only reason. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about this deck anymore. Moving on to the number 1 deck of the current format. Luckily, it's not Dinos. It's going to be Dragon Link. I mean, Dragon Link has a lot lot of different variations they can end with. They can end with like the whole Dragon Maid side where they go like tidying with the balance, shredding seals, and then they try to do like a whole Harbinger play. They can also do like the Appaloosa. They go like Appaloosa, seals, and then they go like Dragoon. You can also go like 11-year route where you go like 11-year, rip a card, and then make like a Sanapon, and then detach the Sanapon. You can do stuff like that. And again, you can also do the DMZ Dragon, equipping the Buster Luck. I don't know how good that is. Honestly, I didn't really see a lot of people in the LCS doing it. But again, it can do a lot of cool plays. And if you guys notice, there's no really like turn 1 FTK sort of board, so hand traps are definitely going to be falling out of this meta, and a Dark Ruler and Forbidden Droplets are going to be going up. Same with Triple Tactics Talent. Now we'll be talking about like the top 5, I guess, meta cards of the current format. They can use kind of like counteract the meta, but again, that's for another video. This was it for my sort of like actual meta decks. You know, my children, the Yugi tubers, have attempted, but this is the best variant. Again, the changes are going to be Drytron, Virtual World, and Numeron not being as good. Drytron, Vendrid is probably going to be viable. My little brother told me to not sleep on it, so I'm not going to sleep on it. We got Bird Up, we got Prankseas, Roxy's, or whatever you want to call this, Buster Blader, and Dragoon as don't sleep decks. The don't sleep just means that these decks can actually punch these decks in the face. It's not like, oh, if you're Dragoon main or whatever, not to play this deck. Just play this deck, trust me, it'll be good. Then again, at 5 we got Invoke, Dogmatica, Shaddoll. At 4 we got Dryden dot deck. At 3 we got Golden Land, Eldorado. At number 2 we got Soling Overraptor, and number 1 we got our Dragon Link. But yeah, guys. Alright guys, so that was it for the end of the video. If you guys liked the video, make sure to go ahead and like the video. If we're not at 13 likes, get it to 13. If we're at 13, get it to 14, and so on and so forth. Again guys, if you made it to the end of this video, go ahead and comment down Union. Yes, Union, U-N-I-O-N, or however you spell it. And anyways guys, this is Hamza. Like I always say, keep on shining, never give up on your dreams. Peace.